Hello, hello, hello. This is Els coming from Bemis Crafty Corner. And as promised, we are going to be doing a little bit of a gesso comparison. Um, so we're going to be comparing three different gessos. And we're going to compare just the gesso, and then we're going to compare the gesso with paint. Okay? Uh, just because I think that it's fair, for us to say, okay, well, yes, it covers, but what does it look like when it's got paint over it? So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be using some Craftsmart. This is plain black, cheap satin acrylic paint. And to do the comparison, I have three similar brushes for the gesso, and we'll be using one brush only for the paint. So let's take a look at the three that we're going to be looking at today. The first one is going to be the Master's Touch Fine Art Studio Acrylic Gesso. This is the 32-ounce jar, and it is available from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to go ahead and shake it. Okay, that's the first one. And let's go ahead and put that on. And we're just going to be using some out of the lid for each of these. So we're going to pick up, a pretty reasonable helping. And we're going to be putting it on similar tags. These are all tags that have metallic on them, the paper. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put the lid back on here, and I'm going to get out a marker, and I'm going to mark this. This is the Master's Touch. Okay. The second one we're going to be using is going to be the Vicky Bouton Gesso. This is the 3.3 fluid ounce size. And this one I got at Tuesday morning. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Let me get a clean, fresh brush. And I'm going to get a healthy piece of this out. And we're going to paint it on this tag. Okay. And this is the Vicky Bouton. We'll go ahead and close that one up. And then the last one is the homemade gesso using Elmer's glue, titanium white paint, and marble dust. So I'm going to go ahead and open this one up. Whoa. All right. And I'm going to get a nice dollop of that. And we're going to paint it onto this tag. Didn't quite get enough to cover the tag. Okay. Ooh. Now I have to clean up because I made a mess. I hate getting gesso in the threads because that means it's going to get all stuck on there. Okay. Lid back on tight. All right. We'll call this one HM, homemade. All right. I'm going to give these about 10 minutes to dry, and then we will be back to take a look at the gesso itself, and then we will look at the paint. I'm going to clean up this little mess right here. All right. That's it. I'm going to let them go ahead and dry, and I'll be right back. All right. We're back, and it's been about 10 minutes. Let's take a look. Okay, so the part that you guys can't see is this is very warped. The Master's Touch is very warped. That's expected, though. This is simply scrapbook paper, so we did expect some warping because we were putting liquid onto it. I can see all the brush strokes, and it's slightly gritty, and it's hard to scratch it off of there. So, you know, I can still see through it. It's not fantastic, but it's not too bad. There's some spots where on the metallic it's sort of separated, and I don't know if you guys can pick that up, probably not, but you know, they're like pinholes on the metallic. So let's take a look at the Vicki Boutin. The Vicki Boutin is weird. Where this has kind of that dry feel that you expect from a gesso, this is satiny, like an acrylic paint, and it comes off pretty easy. This is the homemade gesso. It too has, this was flat, by the way. This has a little bit of a warp to it. Again, we expect that because we're putting something that's liquid onto cardstock. And this feels chalky. And it's kind of hard to scrape off. Let's go ahead and do the paint test. So what I have here, again, is just some Craft Smart satin acrylic. It's just cheap paint. I'm going to go ahead and give it a shake. And we're just going to get a little bit of paint out of the bottle here. And I'm just going to put 3 lines. With this pretty close to the same amount of paint on the brush. Let me get some paint here. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. And we're going to give this a couple of minutes to dry, and then we'll come back and take a look at it. Okay? Okay, let's take a look at the paint test. This is the Master's Touch. Paint's not totally dry yet, so we'll stay away from the wet stuff. It's pretty good. You can see a little bit of the white coming through, but you know, we only did a single coat here, just to see if it would stick to the gesso, and it's not coming off, it's not peeling up or anything like that, so I'm pretty confident that that's going to be a reasonably good piece. Let's take a look at the Vicki Boutin. Again, not dry. The paint on here almost feels plastic, if that makes sense. And this is the homemade gesso. Paint here is nearly dry. Nice coverage. You can see a little bit of white through. Again, single coat. All right, so let's take a look and let's rank them. So as far as single coat coverage, you can see the image here. We can see the image on this one. Definitely see the image here. We can see the image here, but it's a lot, less pronounced. Coverage, this is about a 3. This is about a 5. This is about a 6. Paint, the paint over. This is about a 2. Only because I think it's because the gesso feels kind of plastic. It makes the paint feel plastic. So we're going to go about a 2 on this. I would go probably about a 5 on this. And probably about a 5 here. Overall, for performance, I like the homemade gesso the best. It's got tooth to it. It's got grit. It feels like what I expect gesso to feel like. And it gives, in my opinion, it gives the best coverage and it takes the paint the best. All right, so that's just my opinion, guys. You can, of course, do whatever you want. The Master's Touch acrylic gesso is available at Hobby Lobby, and it comes in various sizes. This just happened to be the size that I bought because I had a coupon, and with the coupon, it was the same size, same price as the next size down, so I figured why not get the extra product. This is the Vicky Bouton, and I picked this up at Tuesday morning, but you can get this at just about any craft store that carries Vicky Bouton products. It's from American Crafts. And this is my own version of homemade gesso. And this, I will link the video on how to make this in the description box below. If you have any comments or suggestions, or you'd like to see how these products work on some other, media, let me know, and I will be happy to test it for you. Until then, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like me, ring my bell, and share me with all your friends. And till the next time, guys, bye-bye.